Welcome to What is Going On in the UC, and today we're going to talk about fallen nature. Now, what is fallen nature? You know the four fallen natures: failing to see from God's viewpoint, leaving proper position, reversal of dominion, multiplication of the criminal act. Fallen nature really is a learned response to the need for love. Now, if we didn't need love, fallen nature wouldn't happen. If we didn't need love, Kingdom of Heaven wouldn't happen either, right? But the problem is, how do you respond to the need for love? And how do you respond to the feeling that love is not there? Well, this is the difference really between heaven and hell from a psychological point of view. Because in God's world, God has good prescriptions on how you deal with any feeling that you don't measure up, any moments of envy or any moments of feeling like somebody's faster than you or bigger than you or better than you or brighter than you in the area. How you're going to deal with that envy. You would deal with it in a completely different way than in this world. But this world teaches you how to deal with envy or feeling lesser than or those kinds of feelings. This world teaches you how to deal with that in a satanic way. And we call that satanic prescription, we call that fallen nature, especially when we follow through. It is a programmed response to the feeling that love is missing. That's what fallen nature is. If you could get to the point inside yourself where you never felt like love was missing, fallen nature is not likely to be triggered in you. Also, some people just have fallen nature, by habit. People might have to train themselves. God's plan of dissolving fallen nature actually is through the blessing. If fallen nature is triggered by the moment you feel unloved or feel that love is missing, then the cure for fallen nature is to perceive that you have received love. That's a matter of the giver, the one who loved you, doing his responsibility, and your responsibility to perceive and value the thing that has been given. God, wanting not to withhold anything from fallen man, gave us the blessing because it is the thing of greatest value. So the only thing between us and dissolving our fallen nature is coming to understand the value of the blessing that we already have been given. The blessing is the greatest gift because this is an instance, the one instance in your life where someone gave their son or daughter the most valuable thing in the universe to you. You can't receive it from parents who don't feel like their son or daughter is the most valuable. You have to receive that kind of thing from a flesh and blood person who actually thinks that their son and daughter was the most valuable thing. If you can have that instance where you realize that someone consciously gave you the thing of greatest value, then whenever Satan comes to you and says, hey, nobody loves you, hey, I can fix your problem, you're missing something, I can fix that for you. Whenever he comes and you clearly know that you've been loved, you can tell him, take a hike. I'm not buying what you're selling. I don't need I don't need your suggestions. I don't need it. Goodbye, Satan. Get behind me. You're a hindrance. It's very important to be able to do that. Otherwise, we keep creating hell. Because Satan is going to get us to do something to take, or get us to do something that's going to, make another person feel unloved, right? So we need the strength not to act in fallen nature, because fallen nature creates the world of evil action that we call hell in the first place, right? So we need to be able to get on top of it. So if we don't even understand what God is doing to dissolve our fallen nature, then it'll never happen. And the craziest thing about this movement is we've already received the thing that should get us out of our fallen nature. And we don't talk about it, and we don't celebrate it. And what is it? That wonderful spouse that we received. Now, if you don't think your spouse is the most valuable thing that was ever given to you, you still have problems. And if we have a culture that doesn't try to help us overcome that problem, we will never get rid of our fallen nature. We will not, as a community, stand for the realistic disillusion of fallen nature. Because fallen nature is a programmed response to feeling lack of love. And in order to dissolve lack of love, we need to perceive that we have received the greatest love, that God did not withhold the best. And if we don't see that our spouse is the most valuable thing, then it's hopeless. You see that? So, next time you think about what's going on in the movement, and next time you think about why the movement isn't really selling anything that the world wants, think about that. Do you think your spouse is annoying enough to throw that all away? Or maybe you should, step back. No matter how annoyed you are, Mars and Venus, no matter how much Mars annoys Venus and Venus annoys Mars, just take a step back and think, I'm going to overcome this for the sake of the world. Because honestly, having smooth husband-wife relationships in this movement is living for the sake of others. And I hope after this conversation, that's clear. I really do. Anyway, talk to you later.